Whenever you're ready.
This statistic may shock you, but 100% of marriages have the possibility to end in divorce. At some point in life, and maybe you still are, you've probably been under the pretense that love can conquer all in a relationship, but that is simply not true. Tonight, we are gathered here to honor our happy couple, Greg and Debbie, who are very much in love, but they also know that relationships take work. You see, I've been watching a lot of Once Upon a Time lately, so I'm kind of an expert in all things fairy tale, and I've concluded that marriage is a lot like defeating a dragon. You have a prince and princess, Greg and Debbie, but you also have a monstrous dragon who will inevitably put a wedge between the couple. In this case, if Greg messes up, Debbie will become that dragon through her own wrath. But if Greg is able to disguise his bodily scent, always have a distraction at the ready, and keep his strategy simple, then he will survive this journey of marriage. But if he fails at this, as I'm sure he will eventually, then I have a few words of wisdom to offer him to get him to that heroic dragon slaying level. First, as I'm sure you can imagine, dragons have an excellent sense of smell, and so do women. Women like things that smell nice. A lot of people may think that women are hard to please and just really picky, but life is pretty straightforward when it comes to smells. I think Debbie can attest to this, but Greg, you can't avoid baths for 2 weeks and then douse yourself in a bottle of Axe body spray because, let's be honest, the scent of rising phoenix mingled with garbage can isn't fooling anyone. And I don't think Debbie would appreciate if you went to dinner with her and her parents, smelling like you just got into a fight with a skunk and lost. This would undoubtedly unleash her inner dragon, so Greg, if you want to stop that, just practice basic daily hygienic habits and utilize the modern day invention of deodorant, because quite frankly, this is the easiest tip that I can give you in helping you on your long journey. If for some reason Greg can't master the art of showering, then the second piece of advice I have for him is he will have to get good at doing distractions. You have probably seen a movie where the hero is about to fight a dragon and his trusty sidekick runs out in plain view and shouts, "Hey!" at the dragon in order to distract it long enough for the hero to make his move. Giving presents to women after you make a mistake works the same way. The present distracts the woman long enough for you to figure out how to come up with an appropriate apology. If, for instance, Debbie comes home after a long day of work and finds the sink full of dishes that Greg has been promising to do for a week, then he might want to buy her a chocolate bar to calm her rage. But if Greg forgets about Debbie's birthday, then a larger gift will be in need, such as a diamond bracelet or anything really that doesn't come from a store ending in Mart. The trick to this tactic is getting the degree of the mistake to match the distraction. And I'm sure Greg will get really good at this, as he's bound to mess up a lot. Last but certainly not least, as this is the most important thing that I could ever say to Greg, is to keep your strategy simple. When the hero ventures into the abandoned castle, he doesn't walk in with the attitude that says, "We'll wing this and see how it goes." But he also doesn't walk in with a plan that stretches across 3 pieces of paper with maps and charts for his crew. No, he walks in with a plan, a simple plan, and a backup plan. Women, as our dragons, are sneaky creatures. You must think about what you will do or say before you do or say it, because they can twist your words around faster than you can twist spaghetti around a fork. For example, if Debbie asks you if she looks fat in a certain outfit, you must calculate the appropriate amount of time to pass before you utter your carefully calculated response. If you answer too quickly, then she may assume that you're only answering to appease her, but if you take too long to answer, then she might think you're lying and you were debating on whether or not to tell her the truth. Similarly, what you say matters. If you say, "No, of course not, that's silly," then you basically just called her dumb for asking such an outrageous question, and you are in deeper trouble than you would have been before. Keep it simple. No frills, no sarcasm, no irony, nothing that could be construed any differently than what you meant. This may sound tedious and a bit extreme, but if you happen to find yourself in a corner, just go back to tip number 1, work your way through, because it's really a cycle of events made up of trial and error. Greg and Debbie, don't let my message frighten you. I have full confidence that you guys have a fairy tale love, and I'm sure you can survive the fairy tale journey. I've had the opportunity to watch you guys grow as a couple, and I know that Greg has the skill of cleanliness, the ability to apologize correctly, and the intelligence to not put his foot in his mouth constantly. And I think Debbie is kind-hearted enough that even if Greg did stumble off the path, she went barbecuing the line with her fire-breathing powers. I want everyone to congratulate this magical couple as they start this new chapter in their lives, because if anyone can live happily ever after, Greg and Debbie can.